All right. Welcome to Yin evening here. So today I have a blanket underneath and then I have a bolster and a block today. So we're really quite prepared. So let's sit comfortably as we begin. And I'm going to reiterate this. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, but if you want to bring something to your yin practice, in other words, maybe a scent to put on your body to relax you, or maybe there's an object that you like to keep near you to help focus and relax you. Since you're at home, this is a really good opportunity to do that. So be thinking about that, even lighting a candle or even soft music in the background. All of those are wonderful additions to your practice. We begin with the sound of Om, and then we'll recite our intention together. So let's take a deep breath in. May I be free from fear and harm. May I be content as I am. May I be at peace with whatever comes. As you relax your face and your shoulders, let's begin to focus on our breath. So if you need to, the first moment or so, you can exhale through the mouth, but then eventually close the mouth, and we'll continue to inhale and exhale through the nose. To help ground you during your practice today, I'm going to keep one hand on the center of the chest and one hand on the belly. And just focus our intention and our breath in these two spots as we relax and prepare for practice. As your breath seems focused and relaxed, let's just add a tiny bit to the practice. So as you inhale, feeling lower diaphragm expand, bringing that breath up into the chest. As you finish the inhalation, just pause for a moment with full lungs, just noticing. And then on the exhale, really soft and relax. See if you can get the exhale a little bit longer. Pause with empty lungs just for a moment to notice and begin the cycle again. We'll just do that for a minute or so. Just taking a moment to release the breath, coming to a nice, comfortable, relaxed breath. Release the hands. And as you begin to open your eyes, we'll transition into our first pose today. So I'm going to use the bolster and the block. Bring my lower back up nice and close. At the same time, I'm going to bring the soles of the feet and work on inner groin as well. And as we lie back onto our bolster, you're welcome to put a blanket underneath your head or a blanket over you to stay warm, whatever feels good. And for this pose today, we're just going to let our arms rest at our sides. I'm going to turn my palms up so that I really connect to this beautiful energy of my breath and opening of heart space. You're welcome to put any blocks that you need to, perhaps underneath your knees, if you don't want to let gravity just release and open them today. So it's your choice. So it's a relatively easy, beautiful pose. So let's just bring our awareness back into our breath. And we don't have to change the breath unless you'd like to continue that breath practice. Otherwise, just notice it. See if you can relax a little bit more on each exhalation. And ultimately, we want to keep the body still, the mind quiet if possible. Beginning to bring your awareness back into the body. Notice how probably inner groin is feeling today, and just very slowly begin to bring the legs together and stretch them out in front of you, and just take a moment to rotate the ankles. Maybe let the hips gently fall from side to side. Just going to do a little mindful transition here today. So we'll bring our feet back to the mat, and we'll bring them nice and wide, so as wide as your mat. And just let the knees gently fall to the right. And then you can inhale, bring them down to the left. And if it feels like you want to stay at one side a little longer than the other, it's your practice, so see how that feels. Otherwise, you can just kind of make it a little flow from side to side. And let's wrap it up. So we're even on both sides. Come back to the center. We'll very slowly transition. So I'm going to roll to my side. We're going to work on a child's twist. So we're going to use that bolster, but not the block. And just go ahead and bring your left hip right up to the bolster. We're going to work on the twist, child twist. It doesn't matter actually which side you do, because we'll eventually do both. So I'm bringing my knees up pretty close, and I'm bringing my feet together. So, but if that doesn't work for you, your knees can be, away from the bolster a little bit. So if you can, you'll bring your whole chest all the way down. Now you have a couple of options. Please, I'm sorry about the microphone when I do this pose, but you can bring your head to the bolster, maybe your hands as a pillow, or let your arms rest to your sides. And your head can turn in the opposite direction of the knees, or if you want to, in the same direction of the knees. So obviously, if your head turns in the opposite direction of the knees, there will be a little bit more twist into your posture. So decide which one is best for you. And let's take some really nice deep breaths right in that waist, maybe belly, low back, and just see how it feels today. Breathing comfortably. Let's make the movement on the other side. I like to just come up onto hands and knees for just a moment. Then you can very easily switch. So our other hip is laying against the bolster and our knees are on the other side. And again, you can adjust so maybe the head is turned away from the knees or whatever feels good for you. Start to transition onto hands and knees and just do a little bit of cat cow for a minute or so. Just noticing the breath, flexing the spine. A few more breaths. Good. Let's go ahead and stretch those legs out in front of us. I'm sitting on a blanket again, just to give yourself a little bit of lift. You can also sit on the block if you'd like. So I'll do this pose in two ways. You can decide how comfortable it is for you today. So we're going to take that right leg first, and you can just cross it over. So ideally, you want your knee somewhere over the other knee. So that may be your pose today. If you can do the full pose, we'll take both the other foot in as well. And we're not sitting on the feet, we're letting them off to our side. And our sit bones are both grounded, so we're not leaning. Okay, so if you're leaning, you can just take that lower leg out straight. So let's close our eyes for a moment and just feel our sit bones grounding into the earth. Relax your shoulders and your face. And then start to feel gravity in this pose and just walk our hands out and let our chest come down onto our leg. If you can go this far, you can bring your elbows to the earth. You could tuck your chin into the chest and let your head rest on your knee. And if all that is still not enough to get this deep stretch in your right glute, then you can walk over to your left just a little bit, give yourself some space, and relax here as well. Good. So let gravity release you. You can tuck your chin in towards the chest or put a blanket or anything on your body to rest your head. Let's take a really nice long exhale together, soften, sink our sit bones down. And relax into the breath, into the pose. So for this last minute of the pose, let's bring our upper body upright. And if you can, keep your legs in the same position. If you can't, you can stretch them out in front of you. But let's take that left arm underneath and just wrap it around. So we're in the full pose here today. You can use a strap between your hands if they don't come together. And then bring your hands towards your nose. Squeeze the forearms and start to just lift the elbows towards me, just towards your, in front of you there, just a little bit. And we'll just breathe here for a moment. I was telling my nieces yesterday that this is cow face pose, and they could not quite see the cow in this pose. Maybe you can. So you're going to release the arms like you're taking off a shirt. Okay, so just open it up. And then just reach open and relax. Good. All right, let's stretch those legs out in front. We'll just take a moment to shake them out. Rotate the ankles. All right, so let's do the other side. So if you're following me, that means this left leg is on top. And if you can leave it like this, or if you want to tuck the other foot in, you decide. Good. Take a moment, see that you're grounded, to make some adjustments on this side. Let's relax those shoulders, relax the face if we still held some tension there. Good. And then when you're ready, let's walk forward, sinking into those sit bones. There's the stretch about halfway or a little bit before. You should feel the stretch in the glutes. Pull that lower belly in, sink back into the low back and into the glutes and the sit bones a little bit more. Good. If your head is not resting on something, tuck the chin in towards the chest. It's not just dangling. So the last minute of this pose, let's go ahead and bring the torso upright. And we'll switch the arms, so I think this means right arm comes underneath. See how that feels for you. If it feels like you've done it already, do the other side. All right. I'm going to pull the hands towards my nose and lift my elbows away. Okay, let's unwind this like we're taking off a short, deep breath. And let it release. And we'll shake out those legs. We'll do one more seated pose today before we come down onto our back. So let's spread the legs really wide. This is a hard pose for me. I'm bringing my bolster because I'm going to need it. So those of you who can spread the legs really wide, we're just going to fold down into the center. So if you're like me and this is an extremely difficult pose, then you can bring this bolster up as high as you need to relax onto it. Or come forward a little bit more, see how that feels. Try to relax your feet in this, okay? So it doesn't really matter if they're pointing in or pointing out or where the knees are, just make them nice and relaxed. The knees are bothering you, bring the legs in just a little bit. So another pose for gravity here. Bring as many props as you need to the table to get yourself a little bit deeper in this pose, and maybe even let your forehead relax. So we want the stretch in the inner groin more than the low back. So make those adjustments. So taking a nice deep breath in, I'm going to bend the knees a little bit. Gently bring the legs together. Beautiful. We're going to come onto our back. So bring the block with you, or if you have the bolster handy, whichever is going to be easier. I don't know. We'll see which works for you today. So we're going to come onto our back. You're welcome to have a pillow underneath your head if that feels comfortable for your neck. I'm going to stretch the right leg out onto the mat. And just draw that left knee towards me. Now just take a few moments here, softening the feet, relaxing the ankles, shoulders. See if you can relax into that lower back a bit. Maybe this is your pose today, but if you feel like coming into the twist, we'll draw the knee across the body, and this is where I say maybe a prop would be good. You can place the prop underneath your knee if your knee doesn't come all the way down to the floor. And then very slowly relax the shoulders. Let's stretch the arms out in a nice T position. I always say palms up right until the last pose of the class, just to feel that beautiful energy coming in through our fingertips and palms. And I'm going to keep my gaze pointed up towards the ceiling on this one today. And where's your breath? The lips are closed. And that deep breath and stretch in this left side of the body. And so let's work our way onto our back. Going to take that left leg and stretch it out onto the mat. Draw my right knee in. We'll relax here for a few breaths. Now, if you feel like adding the twist, maybe you need your prop on this side. We'll draw the knee across the body. See how this right side feels in this stretch today. Make some adjustments and stretch out those arms. See if we can get the right shoulder to relax. And gently roll back to the center. Let's draw both knees in towards the chest. Take a moment, maybe just rock from side to side a little bit. Get that back really comfortable. Our next pose is Shavasana. So relax that back. If you need to open up the hips, still maybe making some circles with the knees. When your body feels ready for our final relaxation, I invite you to stretch out. Maybe put a blanket over you to stay warm. And as we find our perfect pose for our final relaxation, let's also find a mudra for today. It's a good day for a mudra. So let's just go with the mudra of wisdom and awareness. It's always good for a full moon. So our palms are up and bringing the thumb and first finger together. The rest of the fingers relax. There's a little pressure in the thumb and the finger together. And this particular mudra connects us to third eye center in our energy body. The third eye is the seat of wisdom and awareness. It's typically associated with the color violet or even a clear, more clear diamond color. So if you need to take a couple of exhales through the mouth to release any leftover tension, and bring your lips together. Let your eyes gently close. And this is a fabulous time to just surrender into the earth. As we come to the end of our practice, let's take a deep breath. Maybe moving some fingers and toes, stretching a little bit. And let's take a few moments on our side today. You realize that from the beginningless beginning, you have been complete and whole as you are. And this supreme truth is the most difficult for us to swallow. There is nothing to be attained. The Zen master's words remind me of Shavasana. For in Shavasana, we encounter nothing. We encounter non-doing. We embrace being. We oppose the goal-driven striving of the Western world with deep stillness. This is a difficult posture for most of us. For what does it mean that we have nothing to attain? We invite you to come up to join me and bring our hands to our heart. Let's chant the sound of Om together. Deep breath in. Namaste.